I feel like there's this toxic aura around grades. You usually get into it when feeling pressured, whether because of your university choice, because of your parents, or because you are competitive. That's basically how the school grading system started ruining me. And that's what I want to talk about today, because I don't think I'm the only one on the earth struggling with this problem. And if you're new to my channel, then welcome! I mostly share videos about self-growth, but since I study film, I also share some of my short films or music videos that I create. So make sure you subscribe and stick around, because it doesn't cost you anything, but it means the world to me.
School and toxic mindset.
I first experienced it when we had a lockdown in our country because of COVID, and we had online lessons for 282 days, which is quite a lot, and it affected me a lot. I've been living alone since I was 16 years old because I study far from home, and during these 282 days, most of the time I also lived alone. Because simply no one was interrupting me. I felt pretty good studying alone. I could study at night and stuff. So by this time, my grades scored like crazy, like a rocket reaching the sky. Because I could learn everything on my own, wherever I wanted, whenever I wanted, and it was just an awesome time of my life. So since we got back to school, I have been struggling a lot. It just takes way too much time to learn anything. I've started feeling happy for getting A's, and every time I get something worse than an A, I've started feeling depressed and I was blaming myself. And since it was much easier for me to get an A in an online lesson, it's kinda hard to maintain. And now I'm basically becoming depressed because my goal was to go to a university where I needed good grades. But I cannot do that anymore. Because if you wanna, get good grades, you have to do what your teacher says and what others want you to do. So you basically lose the creativity, you lose yourself, and this, passion you put in your works. But you know what? Grades. Today's the day I don't care no more. From what I've discovered in my own experience, it might be individual, but it might open your eyes. The impact all of this has on your current life situation, your mental health, your maybe even physical health, the free time you have or don't have, makes you view your school not as a happy place, but as a responsibility. For example, I study film. I started viewing something that used to be fun for me, from editing videos to recording videos to directing short films, etc., as an obligation. So not only it affected me in the short time because of not caring too much about myself, about what I wanted to do, how I felt, I even discovered that the thing I wanted to study because it was my hobby and I was spending a lot of time doing it became something I didn't want to do. And the worst thing is, the school didn't force me to do it. I was forcing myself to get straight A's, which is super dumb. I started doing it for the school and not because of myself, and I lost the creativity I used to put in these videos. I started thinking of what others would like in order to get me the grades I wanted because of the university. And it just became this endless circle of thoughts, and I don't know. Please don't think that way. So all of this gave me a clear vision of how tryharding for grades can affect everything in your life. If you find yourself feeling related to anything I just said here, please think about it and maybe reconsider why you're doing it, because it can have an impact on you in the long term. I honestly cannot even think about anything that I've done with my passion, that I've done in a creative, my own way in the past year, which is super sad, and I don't want to live this way anymore. If there is a university that will only accept you with straight A's, then I will rather stay creative and individual. And sadly, this is probably what most art school students go through. And don't get me wrong, it is super important in my case to learn how to make films, but if you start tryharding school for grades, it becomes a thin ice. Cause then everything becomes an unhappy place, not only for your mind, but for yourself.